What's up? Good morning, baby. We are live. And this market is a whole bunch of back and forth. So from what I've seen so far this morning, whole bunch of people are getting blown the fuck out. I laugh not because it's funny, but because this is what happens, man. ATR is 67. You gotta be patient, but disciplined. Discipline means be patient when it's not there and hit it when it is. Discipline goes both ways. So we're going to try to do just that here today. We're not perfect, but I got to try to be as close to it as possible. Big bar 15, 40 seconds out. Let's see what we get. You are, of course, looking at a 5-minute chart. Here on NQ, we're trading Nasdaq futures here today, as is typical. Niles, good morning, brother. Giovanni Joe, big man, what's up? All right, so let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. We may have a stop hunt here for the high of the day, the wick high of 1, the high of the New York session at least. So let's see what's up. Let's see if we cannot get chopped up. Or I guess chewed up, like a lot of people are today. Oh shit, I gotta wait for 16. Alright, we'll wait for 16. What's up, guys? How we doing? Good morning. Pete, how we doing? Was bar 3 valid to take? Got stopped out break even because I trailed it above 4. Bar 3 was a very outsized bar. You see this? 120 range. Let me get you out of the way. 120 range. ATR at that time, granted early in the day, but was like 38. Okay, so for me, I gotta hold off on bar 3. Now, did you have the right idea? Sure. Oh wait, are you talking to the long side? Now you have me confused. If you took 3, it would have worked. You should not have gotten stopped out on 3. Because you would have gotten way, way more than you even needed. Now, granted, you should size down on bar 3, but you gotta understand, bar 3 is like a B minus setup because it's so outsized. At least for me. Alright, 16, what you got? Eight. 2,400 bucks of payouts. Very good work. All right, 250 out from the big close here of 16. Trev! Jeez, did you pull like 4 all-nighters? There's a whole bunch of hours in there. Now, I don't say that to overwhelm you, because I know that more is not better, but I'm not just spamming bullshit content. I genuinely believe that everything in the tomb is extraordinarily helpful, but there is a lot of content. But it's not like you have to see every second of it to start getting a grasp. I think a couple videos in, you'll be like, okay, this is starting to make sense. All right, 2 minutes. Yeah, 7, I get it. I get it. There's a whole bunch of jargon in trading. I don't have a video. I don't plan to make one, really. Just ask. Just ask. I think most chats on YouTube are full of a bunch of assholes. Ours isn't. And if someone's just a negative piece of shit, not going anywhere, usually they end up getting banned by somebody. So, just ask. Say, hey, what the fuck's an ATR? And somebody will answer you. That's the kind of crowd we've got. All right, 16, pulling back in here. Single bar. You kind of call it a single bar softball channel. Never took out the wick high of 1. Got my eye on the wick low here of 14. Of course, context here is realistically just softball channel. All right, well, we gotta let 17 kind of resolve itself. See what it's got. Oh, by the way, Apex, just like an hour or 2 ago, launched their, less than 2 hours ago, launched their Black Friday deal. Here's what it is. It's 80% off, single day pass, $40 activation fees across the board, but here's the special. Well, that already is very special. But here's the special part. 100K accounts, that goes for regular and static, are $10 activation fees. They clearly want more people on the 100K accounts. So they're giving them to you for $69 all in. Which is crazy. I like the 100K statics. They're a little different, but I do like them. But the regulars also. All right. Minute 15 out. JP, how do you determine if you're going for a full 1 reward to risk or a full ATR? Well, you should add that and say or a half ATR or a 2-to-1 reward to risk. I went so deep in this multiple times in the tomb. I gotta tell you, it's just, I would put everybody to bed. We could spend 45 minutes on it here on stream, and it would just, that's not for this show. That's really nuanced. But you should get the hang of it, sort of, if you just watch me trade. But again, I went very deep on this multiple times. If you want the nuanced stuff, the boring stuff that really helps you make a lot of money, I mean, listen, that stuff's really boring. It's really boring, but it's super fucking effective. Okay, that's all in the tomb. You will get it here eventually, just like it's not going to be the same depth because it's so mind-numbing. I mean, we can only make trading, we can only pretend that trading is like this big, exciting, like Vegas kind of thing for so long until you have to peek behind the curtain and be like, holy shit, this is actually just like boring little statistical edge masked as this big, exciting thing, which it is. You know, we have fun. I like trading. I love trading. I got into it because it is like 80s floor trader in Chicago kind of thing. But there's also the nuance that you kind of gotta stay awake to learn. But whatever. You'll get the hang of it here either way. Eventually, maybe. Alright, 18. We might have something here on 18. Big man. I have 50Ks, 150Ks, a 250, and 300s. I don't have any 100Ks right now. Not that I don't like the 100Ks. Alright, the stronger the close out of 18, the more convinced I am to go short. But it's got to be strong. It's got to really, really be the early trade option in a break of the context of soft bull channel. Otherwise, I'm not convinced. But we'll keep an eye here on 18. Okay, by the way, I am still looking. The stop hunt right above 1 is still there. And the context here is soft bull channel. I'd really prefer if this bar 18 would break up into 2 bars. or if 18 had not wicked up that high and closed just barely outside the wick high of 17. That would be a nuance that I would actually put on. Now that we have that big wick, 40 seconds, let's see. Let's see. It would actually be better for us if this could not close super strong so that we can get another close like right here. And then I can risk the signal bar and look to stop onto wick high of 1. That is the plan. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, bulls. Bulls. Hold that. I don't want to see that grow too much to the downside. And then if we can get a nice little bull pop close just outside the wick high of bar 18. Here on bar 19. That puts us in a pretty damn good spot. With, of course, the counter risk of trading range. Starting at bar 13. But I still think we might be able to stop on that wick high of 1. Not looking for a big breakout, just looking for the stop hunt. Let's see if it lines up. Scott! First payout approved email this morning. Isn't that always a fun email to get? Good work. Very good work. John, do you mean approval or getting the money? Approval has been super fast for me, but I have a lot, and I don't say this for whatever reason, I'm just telling you so that you understand, like, if you're in the same boat. I have a lot of money that I'm waiting on from Apex payouts. Now, I know it's coming because I've gotten a bunch of, hey, like, payout sent emails. But I've got a lot on the way. So, yeah, as far as getting the money delivered sometimes, but that's not abnormal. Sometimes you'll get the money in, like, less than a week. And sometimes it might take a week, 2 weeks, you know, to get actually delivered to your bank account. Again, approval is pretty quick, but delivery to the bank, don't worry about it. Just go about your day. Forget about it. You'll wake up one morning, it'll be there. And it comes in chunks. Sometimes if you request like back-to-back days, sometimes they'll lump it together. But something that a lot of you guys maybe haven't thought of is just make sure you're keeping half reasonable records, because when you have a lot of payouts coming in, good problem to have, but like I'm not gonna bullshit you, it gets a little confusing. Like I've had this problem lately trying to figure out like, did I get that money yet? Because they lumped it with this and I'm having to like sit and go through everything and fucking write shit down. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But it's a good problem to have. Like, we're happy to have that problem. But from the jump, keep good records, is what I'm trying to say, on what you've received of approved payouts. All right, 19. Tom, This right here, that's a 20 EMA on this 5-minute chart. This down here is volatility. That's range, right? That's range compared to this, which is the average true range, the average range of a 5-minute bar. I do not use volume on NQ. If volume works for you in big liquid instruments, great. Everything in RAM is based on logic, and bar size is often, at least volatility, is often a good indication of volume anyway. And it's not like NQ during the New York session, at least the times that we're trading the most. It's not like volume's an issue. This is a very liquid instrument. Volume becomes much more important if you're trading things that heavily rely on volume, like a small cap momentum stock. That's where volume becomes really important. I think people put all this weight on volume when volume's already going to be really high in an instrument like NQ. Okay, now it can be useful. I'm not going to pretend like it's never useful at all, but I don't think it's above board to the point where it deserves a whole bunch of your mental capital. There are more, to me, there's more important things to worry about because our bandwidth is limited than volume, because it's always going to be pretty damn high in NQ. Or ES. Well, this has turned into a straight up trading range, hasn't it? And that is a sideways. Almost. Maybe not quite, but you could argue, depending how you draw it, single bar trading range. If you bring that top down, which you could, it's very subjective. Just draw it how you think the average of most people would draw it. So, let's see if this can get a little bias to it. Turn into maybe a soft bull or bear channel, or just break out and go. Then we've got plenty to do. Oh, bar 20. Oh, goodness. Come on, 20. Give us something here. You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. You know, and then you get a day like last Thursday and it's hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. But hang in there, because a day like today can always turn into a day like that. Not just destined to be this. Though sometimes it feels that way. Alright, I'm gonna make a phone call, get this market moving. Be right back, 2 minutes. No answer! So I guess we're stuck with this trading range for a second here. It's alright. Yeah, I know. Believe me, they're gonna hear it. They're gonna hear it. All right, here's the close, 21. There's the open at 22. Let's see if 22 can give us something here. Break us down through, give us a nice strong close, well beneath the wick low of 17. And all of a sudden I have something to work with. If the close is just barely below 17, then I'd have to wait for bar 23, because it's the first small, slightly insecure breakout bar of the range. And hopefully the bulls won't just take this right back into the range, man. Let's see. Yeah, that's cute. Cute little fund. They're operating out of their garage. 4.4%. So a cute little hedge fund is what they got, right? My boy Scott from the chat has about 14%. That's a real fund. Alright, 60 seconds here from the close of 22. You know, it feels like this is kind of interesting. It feels like today hasn't even really like developed yet. I mean, the range is damn near 300 points. Not quite, but pretty close. But it feels like this day needs to develop into something. It's pretty uncommon. Keyword being pretty uncommon. Where a whole day is just this until the New York close. Now that can happen, of course, on like holidays, but today's not really... I mean, we're not there yet, right? All right, 325 out. Come on, 23. Save us here. Alright, so the bulls just barely took out the wick high of 1, which is where those stops were, and that was just about the most underwhelming break I think we've ever seen. Ever. So let's see here. We got 2 minutes. Let's see if the bulls, if they can close us above the wick high of 1, I have to put out a stop limit buy. As long as the bar is sized within reason. But of course, the bears are going to try to take it back into that range right now. So let's see if they can. Alright, 45 seconds. We better pop on over to the execution screen. And get ready. Bulls, don't disappoint now. Let's get rid of this as quickly as we can, which now we can, so let's get rid of that. We know that that range is still, you know, in play, so to speak. But we need to see if 23 can close above the wick high of 1 here in the next 20 seconds. I don't want to miss anything out of daily today, so I will go ahead and get the copy trader engaged. Pretty damn unlikely here to get it. Alright, nothing. We go next bar. See what 24 has. Max! Good work. Pass a 25K take profit trader. Yeah, I mean, listen, a take profit trader pro is a hell of an asset. 3 is better. 5 is best. Because you can take those daily payouts. Oh, man. Come on, 24. We got 2 minutes here. Got anything for us? ATR is still 59, so there is hope. There's plenty of hope that this trading range can kind of be put to bed. Isn't today kind of interesting? It feels like, at least right now, again, I think this will probably change here pretty soon. It feels like ATR is like 9. But it's 59. Alright, 20 seconds out. All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Come on, 25. 25. We get a nice close out of 25 above the wick high of 23. We've got something. Beautiful. Brando, Nico been using RAM and have been getting consistent payouts the last 2 months. Why am I not surprised? It's logical, but very good work, Brando. Very good work. It's a big deal. Even just a couple of months of consistency says something really big. All right, 15 seconds. Do we get a last second adjustment? No. All right, 26. You're the golden child. Do it. What's your advice for traders in a slump? Was up 5 figures to kick off the month, traded it all back, and then some in the last 3 days. So almost certainly what happened to you is an emotional slip and you started doing things that made less and less sense, correct? Right? And I think that's okay. Like, you're gonna go through those periods in the early days. Those periods should happen less often as you get desensitized to being read. Look, I have this conversation like 3 times a day, it feels like, at different places, whether it's in the tomb or with somebody. Here's the reality. The more you trade, the more money you'll make. Let's assume you have an edge and you're executing a decent sample size. Okay. The more you trade, the more money you'll make. The more you'll make money consistently, the more weeks and months you'll pay your bills with money from trading, and the less you'll care about each individual event. Here, let me make a comparison. You know when you're like 6 years old, 7 years old, and 1 year feels like kind of how 2 or 3 years feels now? That's because it made up a huge percentage of your life up until that point, 1 year. 1 year of memories was like 15% of your life, 18% of your life or something, right? Well, realistically, like 25% of your life, because you're not going to remember anything from 1 and 2, most likely. Okay, so, maybe 3 too. So, it's a huge percentage. 1 year is a huge percentage of your memories, so it feels really long. And then when you're 25, 1 year goes a little quicker, and then I would assume when you're 50, it goes even quicker. So, when you're trading, when you don't have, thousands of days under your belt, one red day feels like a really big deal. And then after years of doing this, it's kind of just like, it still isn't fun to be red. I don't like being red. But other people care more if I'm red than I do. Genuinely, because they're newer and they're more emotionally attached to the single day outcome because they feel like if they're red today, everything's fucked. And that's not the truth. It's the same thing. Do you understand the comparison to how time feels, the passage of time when you're young versus getting older? And when you care less, you're able to make good decisions because you're less emotionally fueled even when you're red. So the reason you gave it all back was probably because you started to slip on the P&L and you're like, fuck, I gotta get that back. Why? Not because you want the money back, but because you want the feeling to go away. Okay, the problem is not anything. The problem is the feeling. And then you start doing stupid shit to try to make the feeling of, oh my God, I don't like being red. I don't like giving back progress. You're trying to stuff that down back in the whatever and make it go away. Well, the secret isn't like, let me spin around 3 times in the mirror and wave my hands and say, I'm profitable, I'm a profitable trader. That's fucking stupid. And anyone who tells you to do that has been in this game for 2 months and they watched a YouTube video. Just trade, book some results, have undeniable confidence in yourself that you're good at trading and you make money trading. And the more you do that, which by the way means putting ego aside for a couple weeks and finding your edge, just trade RAM or whatever you want that makes logical sense to you. Book up a bit of kind of a snowball effect track record and then just let it roll down the hill. Keep showing up, keep putting in screen time, keep booking days, red, green, break even. And then all of a sudden you're booking payouts or withdrawals from a personal account or whatever. And then 6 months goes by and you're like, yeah, I've been full time at this for months and months. A red day is not as emotional. Wow. Oh my God, what a surprise, as it was in the early days. And this here, by the way, is where I would assume the viewers, the live viewers on the stream, start to trickle down. So fucking predictable. So predictable. Because this is the reality. And people say, oh, that sounds boring. Okay, well, you're here to gamble. Just go to the casino. You're going to save yourself a whole lot of fucking time and probably have more fun. Because here you at least think you have a shot at being profitable consistently, but if you don't actually lean into this as a business model, which you can still enjoy, by the way, you're going to have a really bad time. And most people won't. So most people won't stick around to hear me say that because it's a hard truth. When I look at it, it's like, this is not a hard truth. It's just the truth. In my head, this is a very happy truth because it's like, oh, so it gets better. It gets easier. Yes, it gets a whole lot easier. I don't have a brain implant or some secret trick or some thing I do in the mirror every morning. I have confidence in my ability to trade profitably in the mid and long term. And that's enough. You just need that. That's it. Jesus, guys, it's not complicated. This is it's the same thing. You know when somebody can't lose weight and they try for 2 fucking years and they're like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. I've lost nothing. In fact, I've gained weight in the last 2 years. This is what people always say. And then all of a sudden they're like, I'm done. I'm done. I fucking hate where I'm at more than I hate the process of getting where I want to be. So they spend a week and a half just brute force committing to eating chicken breast and asparagus. And they're like, this really sucks and I love it. And then 2 weeks later, they look in the mirror, they're like, I feel better about myself. And all of a sudden that feels better than eating the shitty food sucks, right? The equivalent to trading is putting your ego aside, trading a little bit smaller, being patient to take the good stuff and letting that good stuff shine because you're not throwing a bunch of bad on top of it and making it look like shit. All right, minute 45 out. Let's see what we get here out of 27. I don't know, will it? We got 18 seconds to find out. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did. You ever have that thought? You're like, damn, how much money could I make? How quickly if I did actually have a crystal ball? Just 30 seconds into the future. A minute into the future. We've all had that thought. And then I finally, came to the conclusion where it's like, I don't want that. That would suck. Because that would take all the meaning out of actually doing this and take a lot of the meaning from the money away. And when you're in a tough spot, I get it. It's like, no, I want that. Fuck you. It's like, yeah, fair. Fair. But I think your day-to-day existence after, 2 months of realizing that all this stuff is like kind of cool, sort of. You'd be like, this sucks. When I know I'm just guaranteed to win, this no longer takes skill. Your brain turns to mush. Your daily existence is no longer any kind of, challenge. Which, I mean, realistically, I feel like doing hard shit is kind of like the meaning of life in a way. Keeps you fulfilled, happy. A life without doing hard things is miserable. Alright, 28. 350 out. Soft bull wedge. I mean, right? That's what I see. The trouble here is, well, I mean, you could risk the wick low of 23, 20 EMAs right there, or you could risk the wick low of 22, but that's too far. Well, at least on the bright side, ATR is 48. Which is good, because that gives us a lot of hope that this will turn into something manageable. But I mean, good God, you look at bar 27, it's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Well, Gamma, that's fair. You know what I meant. Doing the hard things that have a big potential personal payoff. That's not necessarily monetary. Payoff can be a longer life expectation, like hard exercise, for example. Hard personal ventures that lead to a lot of growth. Whatever that means to you. But yes, you're right. Well, it's a good thing we're all here hanging out together. Keeps all of us from doing dumb shit right about now, huh? Man, this is a straight up range little soft bull channel, but since bar 23, 24, goodness. The good news is we're never more than like 1 or 2 bars away from something setting up. Okay, so bar 29 here is the first in any kind of sequence. Which you guys know, I'm typically staying away from the first bar in a continuation trade. Alright. 25 seconds out here from the close of big bar 29. Let's see what 30 brings us here. We might have some. 29, of course, you know, it's a sizable bull body, but it's the first in any kind of continuation sequence, which at first bar I'm typically, again, trying to stay away from. So 10 seconds till we get the rollover. There it is. Alright, let's see what 30 brings. Trev, go hit it. Take Profit Trader 30% off. No activation fee. And a full initial test cost refund when you take your first payout. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. So if you go buy a Take Profit Trader test and you pass, you will not pay an activation fee. Then you take your first payout. They refund you the first month. So if you pass in 1 month and get to a payout, 1 month or less, and get to a payout, the account was net free to you. I don't even really get how they do this. But I'm not gonna ask any questions. Code BIG, B-I-G. All right, let's see if bar 30 here gives us a nice clean close. 2 minutes out. Danimal! I am 5'1". Kind of a little guy. All right, bar 30, what you got? All right, big 30. Big bar 30. Might have something here. Well, let's pop over to the execution screen and see what we get. Come on, 30. Grow a bit more than that. Goodness. All right, well, I gotta get the copy trader engaged. I'm not looking to miss something on a day like today. 15 seconds. We get a last second little pop. Well, maybe not a little pop, but a last second adjustment. It's going out. No! Bar 31! Let's see what you got. There you go, 31. Give us something to work with. All right, back in 2. Go nowhere. We're gonna get something here. All right. Bar 32. Let's see what we got. 31 was valid. And of course, I was fucking not here. So it's gonna happen sometimes. That's all right. I get 95% of them. Let's see if 32 gives us the late trade. Not the late trade, but the more developed, more mature trade. In a lot of setups, you get the early trade and the more mature trade. Now, the math doesn't necessarily look better or worse. It just looks different as far as probability with reward to risk or potential reasonable reward to risk. Talked about this a lot with team members. Let's see what 32 gives us here. 3.5 minutes out. Roof! Big dog, what's up? We're trading Nasdaq futures, NQ. And I am copy trading Take Profit Trader and Apex accounts. And I'm copy trading from NQ in the leader to micros and a whole bunch of them, which is MNQ. All right, 32, 2 minutes out. Do days like this happen often? I don't know, sorta. Sorta. Is today slower than normal? 100%. But volatility's good. It's just the price action is a little more indecisive bar to bar. I know it looks like, well, yeah, but it's up from bar 5. Yeah, no shit. But bar to bar, it's wicky, indecisive a little more than normal. I mean, listen, this is day trading. You want to be a day trader? You want to be a day trader? It's not all punching dudes in the face in $2 million trades like it was on the floor in the 80s. Though we wish it was. The glory days. All right, minute 20 out. All right. Execution screen. Ready to go. Beautiful. Copy trader engaged. 17 seconds out. Not a tremendously sized bar. That's all right. Go ahead and get the stop limit buy ready. Boom, place him there. Perfect placement! See if we can get a fill. Size on that bar is a little small, but ATR is reasonable, so we're good. See if we can get a fill here. ATR still 39. Falling, but reasonable. 5 seconds. No fill, no trade, moving on. Bulls don't want it. They don't want it. So we pull it. We move on. All right, let's keep going. See what 33 brings. Yes, sir. Code BIG. $10 activation fees for 100K accounts. That goes for regular accounts and static accounts, the 100K accounts at Apex. Code BIG, $10 PA fees. I've never seen them do this before, this is pretty ridiculous. I think, what is it, 69 bucks all in for a 100K account? And then all the accounts are 80% off single day pass and $40, all the other accounts, $40 lifetime activation fees. Let's see if 33 gives us another entry opportunity here. Price! Good strategy for beginner day traders. I mean, listen, I'm biased, admittedly so, but I think RAM is great, man. If you're a beginner, you just put in screen time. Take the time to learn it. It's a skill, you know? I mean, the easy shit doesn't pay very well. The ceiling in trading is tremendous, damn near infinite. Not literally infinite, but it fucking might as well be, right? Take the time, learn it. Treat it like a skill that can pay a shitload of bills for the rest of your life. Because it can. Now, for most people, it won't, because most people just, you know, treat this like they're the player at the casino rather than treating it like they are the casino, which requires patience and discipline, which is very hard. All right, minute 40 out here. Let's see what Big Bar 33 brings us. %, protocol. We don't believe in guesswork around here. Beautiful. All right, 33. See if we can grow a bit more from here. What do you guys think? We taking 25K? We taking 25K? 30 seconds. Let's pop over. All right. 20 seconds out, copy trader engaged. Let's see if Big Bar 33 can give us a half reasonable close. There we go. Beautiful balls. Place that guy there. Pretty damn good placement. And we will get a fill. Signal bar only. Minus a point. Bring that up. Stay exposed. Small little trade. Small signal bar. Bar 33. ATR 37. Now we just see if it works. No pressure in a situation like this. Very easy decision making. Then we just take the outcome, move on with our lives. on, bulls. Step in, do your job. See if the bears can take out the wick low of 33. Yeah, that's right, bears. Back up. Back up. Bulls have work to do! Step in. Take this baby to 26,000. Yeah. Yeah, you thought, bears. Calm down. Bulls, take it through, baby! Full ATR, what do we got? Alright, bulls, plenty of work left. Well, there's a good close out of 34, so you know what we do? We move our stop up just a tad. Just a tad under the wick low of the new signal bar. That's all we do. That's the only decision to be made there. Still looking for a full ATR. ATR now 36. Yeah, protocol, you're damn right you love Ram, big dog. That one got damn close, so... Hey, it ain't over till it's over. I better shut my mouth. Because I want my full ATR. We've still got plenty of work to do before we get there. Keep that moving. ATR 37. There we go. Not interested in taking it early. For me right here, it's full ATR or nothing. And that does, by the way, get me out right ahead of 25K, which is just fine. So let's see if we can get that here. Bulls, give us that push! Two and a half minutes left here, by the way, on bar 35. There's still plenty of work left to do here, Bulls. Can you give it to me? Let's see. Again, I want that full ATR, 37. There we go. Keep that pushing. Keep that pushing! ATR now 38. Boom! Full ATR. Hold up. Hold up. I gotta let things flatten. There we go. And we are flat. Good winner. Moving on. That was weird. Is my computer I think my computer might be getting hot. Things kind of glitched on the take profit. But we're good. We got it flat. Made a good little chunk. Let's keep it pushing. That's right, Ninja. Very good assessment. Thank you, trade count assistants. My unpaid trade counter assistants to remind me to update it every fucking time. Well, that makes it worth it to sit around and wait all morning, doesn't it? Good trade. Just keep it pushing. Okay, now this is a pretty sizable bar. And we just broke through 25. So let me think here. I am going to go ahead and get a stop limit buy ready and place it right there and see if we can get a fill. It's time to put some risk on. It's time to put some risk on. I'm sized appropriately. And let's see here. Alright. That bar is not too outsized. So we'll leave that on and see. See if we can get a nice little bull push. Now, of course, we're right through 25 just now. So that's fine. So let's see if the bulls can do their job here. Again, ATR 37. All right, bulls. Bears trying to retest 25. It's all right. Let's see here. What a beauty of a bar here on 35, huh? Very nice bar there on 35. All right, Bears. I think you've seen enough of 25K. Bulls, step in! Push this baby through. Let's keep increasing ATR along the way. Currently 39, which is great. I don't mind a 39 ATR at all. But Bears, I do mind that. All right, there's close bar 36. See what 37 brings. No decision for me to make on 36, of course. First, bare body. So we'll see if 37 can clean things up for us. These bears want to get nice and cocky. I think it's time to put that attitude to bed. There's the retest of 25. All right, Bulls, take us through that little high. Yeah, let's finish the job here. Okay, not too bad. Now let's not form a little sideways trading range here. That would be tremendous to not do. Just take it through and put him to sleep. ATR 38. Alright, Bulls. We got a whole bunch more work to do than that. That's not a bad start, though. Let's keep that moving. There we go. ATR about 40 now. Good. There's the halfway checkpoint. Okay, 27 seconds left here on bar 37. So I gotta think about that. I'm not a huge fan of the size of bar 36 for moving the stop, but I believe I will have to, so we gotta multitask. Alright. Left fingers on the hotkeys. Right hand for adjusting the stop. Boom, right there. Back in the driver's seat. Let's see if we can get that full ATR. ATR now back down to 37, so keeping an eye out there. Come on, Bulls, take us through that wick high of 37 and a little more. ATR now 38. Always adjusting on the fly as ATR changes. Bull's taking a little breather. Now muster up that confidence. Take that baby through! Alright, big 38. Take us to that full ATR. Also 38. Boom. Full ATR out there. Good little chunk, baby. Moving on. All right. Well, if I say so myself, the patience turns out it paid off a bit here today, huh? Trade count updated. There we go. Well, say it's about lunchtime, huh? Anyway, crazy day at Apex. Crazy deal. Code big at Apex. If you like the way I trade, join the team, man. Learn how to trade RAM. I think it's going to treat you extraordinarily well. And I will promise you it is well worth the investment. A for quality. Okay? And I believe that I've priced that at a point that is just a ridiculous potential ROI. And that's what people are already saying. So I love to hear it. So I'll see you guys inside the tomb. Live training today, by the way, this afternoon. And if you can't make it, totally fine. It gets archived anyway. So I'll tell you what. See you guys tomorrow morning. Good day. Patience pays. Discipline does not just mean, by the way, not taking the bad stuff. It also means taking the good stuff when it's there. Hence the back-to-back trades. You know, a lot of people, they wouldn't have taken that second trade because it's scary. You're like, I don't want to give that first one back. You know, especially me, if the second trade was a loser, it's like, well, I just made money and now I gave it all back on live. I don't care. I don't care. I'm here to provide for my family and trade the way that I know treats me the best. I'm more scared internally of breaking rules because I know how that's treated me in the past. Right? So you got to get to that point. Just put in the reps. You'll get there, I promise. All right, guys. Have a good afternoon. See you in the morning.